And welcome back to Houston Newsmakers, where I'm joined by Dr. Laura Murillo, the president and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. That is a big organization. They're doing great things in this community. Thank you, doctor, for joining me this morning. You know, the pandemic has been so unkind to so many businesses across the spectrum. Talk about what it's been like for members in your community, in the chamber, and what you've been able to do to help them kind of survive throughout this.
Well, thank you for having us on. Certainly, all businesses have suffered, but we know that a disproportionate amount of minority-owned businesses have shut down, have absolutely been affected negatively by COVID. Your Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has been at the forefront with SBA providing information about loans and resources, so much so that we recently received the Helping Hand Award from the Houston Business Journal for the work that we have done in terms of providing all of this information in English and Spanish to small businesses, and most of all, making sure that we were able to work with Congress and ask for their support to bring more financial resources to small businesses directly. And we saw that through PPP, making some changes, and others.
So we've been able to notice throughout the pandemic and other issues within our community, diversity and inclusion. It's been a high point of a focal point these days because of high-profile issues and of a number of different kinds. Talk about what the Hispanic Chamber is doing to try to make a difference in that regard, and how you focus on trying to deal with the top down as opposed to, in conjunction with working on diversity on the ground floor, but what's going on in the top of our business communities is important for you as well.
Well, we have been working on diversity, equity, and inclusion since the time that I arrived at the Chamber of Commerce, which is now 14 years, Cambrell, if you can believe that.
I can't.
And one of the things that we have done is most recently we gathered over 40 CEOs to talk to them about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it was all about the facts, data points. We know for a fact, according to McKinsey & Company, that performance and revenue increase when you have minorities, when you have women and minorities on your corporate board. Your revenue and your performance increase. And there are studies and there's research that support that. And so we have been absolutely at the front of those conversations for many years, and we have published white papers and op-eds to support the value and importance of inclusion. If you look at the data across the country, nationally, only 15% of all corporate boards of Fortune 500 companies, only 15% include minorities. We must do better.
And many of those folk who are on those boards, they've known that this is a reality, but it has been such a slow-moving molasses in the wintertime kind of process. What do you attribute the slowness of this? And maybe the kids say the word woke these days. What does it take to get boardrooms across the country to become woke, if you will, about the need to improve the diversity?
Well, we have seen through a Harvard study that was conducted this year, which indicates that, in fact, legislation, state legislation may be the way to have corporations move forward in a way that brings more diversity to their corporate boards. And so we have seen this in other states throughout the country, at least 4, that have put forth recommendations and put it into law that require that you have minorities on your boards. And that may be something that will become to protect us, we hope, because we know that what gets measured gets worked on. And the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, once again, has led in that effort. We've seen corporations here in Houston most recently, such as CenterPoint, appoint Wendy Montoya Clooney to their corporate board, and others. Recently, the Federal Reserve in Washington, D.C. appointed me to the Federal Reserve Board, which reports up to the Board of Governors. They are appointed by the President and confirmed by Congress. And I will be representing our region nationally on topics such as monetary policy, inflation, interest rates, employment. All of those conversations take place at a national level. And for the first time, Houston will have a representative on this board of only 10 individuals, and I will serve with great honor and pride over the next 3 years, making sure business and our community and our region in this part of the country speak to those who are making public policy in Washington, D.C. We must do more.
And that's a big deal, being able to be really at the table when legislative kinds of things are even being talked about. If you can push that in that direction, that's a big opportunity for this community to be involved in those conversations, is it not?
It's absolutely so. And the fact that we've never had a Houstonian on that board is unbelievable. And again, so proud to represent our region at a national level on a board that absolutely makes huge decisions and that impact us, and that we can take the conversations that I have here in Houston with business owners, CEOs, and others to the top to make those decisions so that we have a stronger economy and that we have input in terms of what's happening in our region, which is different from West Coast and East Coast.
Do you think people are just unaware of what kind of role small business plays in this community? Talk about the business driver that small businesses make up for this community. Well,
we are the economic absolutely force behind the economy, and I like to say we are the epicenter of entrepreneurship in this city. We make up 42% of all small businesses, with well over 100,000 Hispanic-owned businesses across the country. Latina entrepreneurs are the fastest growing segment of entrepreneurs. And when we look at your pocketbooks, just here in Houston locally, Hispanic spending power is over $54 billion with a B. Wow. $54 billion. In Houston only. And so we are asking that corporations look at the makeup, the composition, not only of their corporate board, but also of their executive team. We are your customers. Look at your pocketbooks, take a look at the city, and look at the stats nationally. Right. They all favor more inclusion. And going back to the point, we only have a 15% participation on corporate boards across the country.
Well, I'm going to put the information about the Houston Chamber on my website so people can look at it, find out how they can get involved and be a part, be a member, and get involved with you to make these inroads, which you continue to make. We got to hang on to you because you keep going. You're leaving the station, so we got to hold on to you as you make all of these inroads. Thank you, Dr. Laura. We appreciate you for what you're doing, and thank you for being a part of this program this week, okay?
Thank you. And I like to say, as go Hispanics, so goes Houston. Thank you, Kimbrough.
Amen. Thank you.